And I'll tell y'all this too. If y'all don't, I'm pretty sure y'all know. If a steer tire blows, floor it.
Yeah, don't hit the brakes.
Floor it. Because I'm going to tell you, that truck with 43,000 pounds, seatbelt had to come off. I snatched the seatbelt off, and I was basically off the seat, holding the wheel to the left with my foot on the floor, trying to get that thing pointed back straight. Because when I looked over there, I got a jersey wall on each side, and you know you don't have that much room.
Right.
No, you don't.
So, and DOT was impressed. He was like, we've had guys that had a steer tire blow out in this work zone before. You're probably like the second driver that did not hit anything. You know, and mine was, it was violent enough, you know, and that's one of them situations where you got to stay calm. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do not go for that break. Because you go for that break, whatever direction, if it's the left, that thing's going left. If it's the right, it's going right. If you hit that brake, you're about to make it worse.
Yeah, because once you hit that brake, that front end's going to dive down. It's going to grab it.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's hard to do because everybody's reaction is going to be to hit the brake.
Right.
You know?
And that right there, you know, and it happens. You're out here in this industry. You know, we can do the best to take care of our equipment, keep good tires, stuff like that. That was just something that was beyond my control.
Right.
And when DOT, you know, he was out there, he was looking, he was like, hey, man, good job. You know, you okay? Stuff like that. But, of course, you know, he was looking at my truck.
Oh, yeah, they going to see if they can find something.
And he was looking at my truck. And, of course, when they found the cap, he looked at the cap on it. He said, is this a brand new tire? I said, that tire's not even 6 months old. I said, I had just put both of these steers in this truck. And he's like, man, are you? And I mean, it, you know how like, I mean, it looked like somebody had just took the tire and just cut the sidewalls out of it. That whole case,
it did a zippering effect. Once it started opening up, it just opened
on
all
both
the way
sides,
up.
opened all the way up, and then that whole thing was still intact. You know, tore up my front bumper. It didn't destroy my hood. It damaged it a little bit. The wiring harness to my headlights and stuff all on the left side, it ripped all my wiring out, destroyed my airlines, tore up my fairing, my steps on the passenger side. It did, when the cap came off, when it went underneath the truck, it tore out a bunch of other airlines, stuff like that. That was one of them cases where, you know, I had to get towed. Then I had to get with the company I was leased on to, going through stuff with them as far as the load, getting that load recovered, trying to get my truck somewhere, trying to get it looked at. Now I got to get a room. Now I got to figure out how I got to get home. You know, things like that. Because I got the room. By the time, because that happened on a Thursday, that Friday morning, when I talked to the guy, and this right here is exactly what he told me. He said, man, how far away are you from home? First thing came out, he said, oh, you're a white Freightliner that came in, the Cascade, the blowout. Yeah. How far were you away from home? I said, uh-oh.
That is not a good sign.
Without even discussing what they found, what all needs to be replaced. How far are you from home? Uh-oh. I said, well, thankfully I wasn't too far. I said, man, I just live in North Carolina, just, you know, so Winston-Salem, right above Charlotte. He said, man, I'll be honest with you, I tried to go ahead and get a ride home. You know, he said, because you got a lot. You got a lot. So I, you know, and I called home, told him what was going on. My wife and daughter actually rode down, you know, to pick me up, which, you know, she's from that area.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that's her stomping grounds.
Yeah,
know?
so she rode down, picked me up, and I was down for a while, and that's when my new truck popped up. And I was like, you know what? Get this son of a gun fixed. I had a chance to get it.
Bro, that new truck was meant to be because it everything happened. I remember we talked about that, and you was you was like, this one's almost paid for. Maybe I don't want to go that much further in debt. And then boom, this happened. Yeah, that's a sign. I'm going to get this new truck.
Yeah. And it was just so much more. I was gaining APU and,
right.
This one's on an operator spec versus me having a former fleet truck, stuff like that.
So I know there's a lot of good things with being an owner operator or a lease guy, but I want to talk about fuel for a minute because me and you had this discussion earlier, and then we discussed it on the phone. With me, whenever I need fuel, I just stop, swipe my card, and I fill the tank.
Right.
I fill it right then, so I don't have to do multiple stops to help manage my clock and things of that nature. And I know you said you do, like a lot of people do, that just, okay, well, I know on this run I need 60 gallons of fuel, so you'll put 60 in every time you get a load, or you'll put whatever fuel you need in for every load you get.
Right.
I don't understand. I still don't. I mean, we talked about it and I understand it now, but at the time I didn't. I mean, at the end of the week, you're still spending the same amount of money.
Right.
I want you to explain what you explained to me. That way other people can, if they're thinking about it, they know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, one of the things is whatever state I'm traveling through, your fuel taxes. Well, with me, I end up, when I pay my fuel tax, I can see each state that I have traveled in.
Right.
Well, by me traveling to those states, I got a fuel tax on there for going through there. So some are going to be higher than others. Like for instance, Georgia. Georgia is known for being pretty high. South Carolina is known for being pretty cheap. Now, I'll be honest with you, I got a habit. If I'm going to Georgia or if I got to go through Georgia, I got this habit. I will stop in South Carolina. I will leave out of North Carolina and try to make it to South Carolina to get fuel because the fuel tax cheaper. But if I keep doing that, when I look at my EFTA, when that thing comes out, Georgia going to look at me like, oh, you didn't want to buy no fuel for us? Well, here's how much you owe us. We're going to get something from it.
Right. The state's still going to get theirs. So by stopping and getting fuel.
Go ahead. It's going to offset.
It offsets.
Because sometimes it can, not saying all, but sometimes, it'll help offset that on your EFTA. So at least at some point, I am not going to say I'm going to fill up in Georgia. I might throw 50 gallons in there.
Right. But it just shows that you got fuel.
Yeah. And then even if, let's say I'm trying to make it through a state, or I'm trying to, get, so I'm like, man, well, I got enough to get here, but I'll be stretching it. Man, I really don't want to buy fuel here, but I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, you did that just the other day in, I think, Virginia, wasn't it?
It was, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of running up through Virginia. I've been running up to Delaware a whole lot, and I've been cutting through Virginia and stuff, and I said, okay, I'm going to have to do something to kind of offset this, you know what I'm saying?
Whether you wanted to or not, that's what,
Yeah.
Okay, so I always looked at it like, you know what, if you spend, $1,000 a week in fuel, whether you stop and get, $400 and $400 or $800, and 4 and 4, however you want to do it, if you fill up twice, it don't matter. You're still putting the same amount of money in a week, but in the long run, on the tax end of it, it's better to do that little here in the states that you travel in, so you don't get hit.
And then also too, it also helps out with, your loads as far as planning. Whenever, you may have a load fall through. Like I told you, you don't want to sit up here and just bought $400 worth of fuel, banking on a $2,800 load, and all of a sudden it canceled.
Yeah, like you was in Pennsylvania. This was the Pennsylvania store, and we had 5 loads, I think it was.
I had 4 back-to-back.
4 back-to-back canceling on you.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm glad I did not buy a bunch of fuel because I blowed my whole weekend on loads canceling out.
Right.
And then that just comes with the territory.
Right. It's part of the job.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, David. Sitting here talking with him about this, you still want to be an owner-op?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well,
I told you that, man. He's crazy.
I don't know what it is. It's not necessarily. I know it's not. It's not necessarily the money aspect, and we're pretty independent here at the small company we work for.
Yeah, because he'll call us up and, hey man, I got these 2 loads. Which one you want to take? I mean, he works with us pretty well and does, I think, with every driver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nice when you can call up your boss, go tell him to go jump off a cliff, and that's the PG way of saying go jump off a cliff. And all he does is laugh and say, "Well, is the load still gonna be there on time?"
Yeah,
Yes.
dude. I'm telling you, man. I love.
But I don't know why. I don't know. I have no real reason why I want to be on the rock, but I'm trying to. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why I want to do it, but I just do.
I mean, you can do it. I mean, like I said, you just got to find out. You know, not only when it comes to the truck, what you're trying to pull, you do your homework on it and you work out what's best for you.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you stuff general with, you know, if you tell me, hey man, I'm gonna go pull a step deck. Now, man, you can relate on the truck aspect, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh man, you don't want to do that. That ain't the way to go. That ain't the way to go. That might be what's better fit for you. And that's one thing that I do see a lot of people say, oh man, you don't want to do that. You need to go do this. You need to go do that. That might not be right for that person.
Right.
You got to do what's going to be right for you.
You got to do what's best for it.
Right.
Well, we're going to end this segment right here. Hopefully that gave everybody some information. Now, the people that are watching this, if you've got any specific questions, you know, hit us up in the comments. Let us know, and then we can get Javar back on here another week and go from there.
Oh,
and get those questions answered if there is any specifics.
And I mean, you know, and if you need me to come back, I'll be glad to.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you back on here.
Oh, yeah.
If anything, just for a BS session, you know.
Yeah. Just make room for my truck next time, though.
Hey, we try to. We try to.
And as always, keep your shiny side up.
You didn't tell everybody thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.
-5. Right. -5 points deduction.
Sue me.
-5.
Okay.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take it easy, y'all.